We are talking about the greater good.
Hi, I'm Sarah Katz. Do you want to live a more optimistic life? Well, I'm here to help. In this podcast, I'll be discussing a variety of topics, such as positivity, motivation, and self-love, to ultimately inspire you to live your best and blessed life. So, let's chat. This is... Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you all. I feel like it's been so long. Welcome to Skatz Chats, or welcome if you're a new listener. Welcome back if you're a returning listener. And welcome either way to everyone and everybody who wants to listen to this podcast. Welcome. So thank you for letting me take my break. You know, I took a week off. We were supposed to air this episode last week, but that's totally okay. I advocate for people taking their breaks because, you know, if you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you are not able to continue, I guess, in this situation, you know, continue your hobby or your passion project for a week, that's totally okay. You know, take a break, take as much time as you need to, you know, realign yourself and readjust and make sure you're back into a good headspace to continue, you know, moving forward, continue getting back to the best possible self that you can be. But in any case, thank you for bearing with us last week when we took our break here. I have a full-time job, you know, super new, as you all may remember, and I just wanted to make sure that I was giving my whole entire energy to that and kind of just adjusting my schedule on a week-to-week basis with that job. And that's obviously first priority always. Anyways, so just wanted to let you know also to stay up to date with the podcast, including, you know, future giveaways we might have, announcements, topic reveals for future episodes, and much more fun stuff. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Skatz Chats. And we're also on YouTube if you prefer to listen to our podcast that way as well. Just Google Skatz Chats Podcast or just Skatz Chats in the search bar and you'll be able to find us. Now, let's get into today's topic, which is pretty broad by the title, but we're basically going to go into how to let it go, whether that may be about shit talking about you or you gossiping about others, any sort of negative energy that you get from people or situations, and just realizing that the best option for you is to let it go and learning how to do that as well. You know, listen, we need to realize that not everyone is going to like us. No matter how nice and friendly we may be, you know, we're still going to have haters out there. And of course, this is a callback to episode 6, Can't Stop the Haters from Hatin'. I certainly strive to be, of course, the best, you know, kindest and friendliest person that I can be, but there's still people out there who aren't going to gel with you, whether that may be just your personality, your vibe, whatever. And that's totally okay. That's just what happens. And I think especially in high school and college, sorry ladies, I'm gonna pick on us for a second, but especially with women, a lot of times we tend to gossip about others and talk shit just to make ourselves feel better. And ultimately kind of convince ourselves internally that we are like better or cooler than the other person. Right? I mean, sounds familiar. You can tell me that this doesn't sound familiar. You see this in movies. If you have never experienced this in your own life, you've seen this in movies. But it's really true. And, you know, this pattern is bad for our psyche. And I'm sure many of us know what it's like on the receiving end of that. You know, like, oh yeah, Kathy said this about you, or other people just like straight up acting mean and hurtful towards you. This is such a damaging cycle, and why do we even continue this is kind of what I've been wondering, you know, preparing for this podcast. I'm like, it's like if we talk shit and we give negative energy off, then we're dimming the light of others. And I want to give you a little bit of an analogy, I guess. So think about it this way. This is my candle analogy. Each individual person is a candle, and they have their own light and energy that they give off. You know what I mean? If someone projects negativity, then people around them will pick up on that energy and their light will dim because of that. But if someone works to project positivity and love and kindness all the time, as much as they can, we're all human, but as much as we possibly can, then the light of the people around us will shine brighter, causing sort of a kindness chain reaction sort of thing. And either way, the positive person is passing along their light or their flame, I guess, from the candle, from one person to the other. And if someone has a bad flame inside of them or spreads negative energy, they also spread it to other people too. You know how when you can walk into a room and you kind of feel the energy that's in the room, and it either is positive or negative? That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. Another great example too is, I know it makes great TV and we all love it, but The Housewives. It seems like to me The Housewives is all about arguing and just all about the, she said this about you, or, oh, she did this? No way, how could she do that? Ew. I mean, it, like I said, it makes for good TV. I enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure. But in real life, that doesn't make us feel good. You know what I mean? To the person talking shit, they may feel like they're, above the other person, like I mentioned before, but ultimately, all that is going to catch up with them, and they may feel negative effects internally because of how they acted for a long period of time. And then the person on the receiving end, again, will be blindsided because maybe you trusted the person and they backstabbed you or talked negatively about you. I mean, whatever the case may be. And like I said too, yes, we're human, We are not positivity robots. I don't know what that was. That was my robot impression. But we won't say positive things 100% of the time. We're human. But at least we could stop being so petty and catty and realizing that we're actually hurting others and at the same time hurting ourselves. Always try to put yourself in other people's shoes. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know that I'm advocating for people to stop the shit talking. But that probably won't totally solve all the gossip and backstabbing out there. That won't stop it, you know what I mean? But maybe a more effective message that I can try to help you with and help you understand is to work on how to let it go. Although I would love to stop this stupid catty bitch trend, I want to let you all know that we have the power for how we want stuff like this to affect us. I think we have to let our mind and our common sense kind of be the filter to our emotions. Just think about this. I mean, would you rather want to get all worked up about the he said, she said gossip or some rumor that someone said about you, true or false? Or do you want to allow yourself to just let this petty bullshit pass through and continue to live your life how you want? And it's normal to get worked up about things. Again, we are human. This is like the third time I've said this. And we have a wide range of emotions, and it's going to take a lot of work for us to be able to let go of things, and that's totally okay, but we can put a fun spin on it. I saw this quote probably a while ago on Pinterest, and again, we love Pinterest, this is great, but this is kind of the mindset that I like to have. If people are gossiping about you and you know it, just notice it, okay, notice it, and say to yourself, well, shit, I have myself a damn fan club, and just let it be. I mean, again, even if what they say is true or false, it doesn't matter. Don't let this affect your energy, your good energy, your good positive light, referring back to that candle analogy here. What matters most is your well-being and your mental health, and I always want you to put these things first and take care of yourself. At the same time, another thing to note about this too, another positive spin on, shit talking, gossiping, whatever, for all the ladies out there especially, is that you can kind of see who is a true, genuine friend, aka the people who will stick up for you no matter what, and the people who aren't really your friend at all. Maybe these people have participated in the gossiping about you or even started the rumor or whatever the case may be. The people who are treating you badly are kind of doing you a favor in a way. You know what I mean? Because they are showing their true colors. You could see who they truly are, and now you know that they won't stand up for you or be there for you when you need them. So strive to not only let these petty things go, but strive to be a genuine friend as well. We have to do it both ways. I mean, it's nice to recognize these things about other people, But we have to recognize it in ourselves too. Don't talk shit about other people who you consider your friends, or anyone for that matter, I guess. You know what? How about overall just be a kind person? Just work on that, guys, okay? But remember that candle analogy in the beginning, right? Be the person who spreads kindness and lifts people up and not put others down. And again, maybe it's kind of a bad habit that we're stuck with right now. Gossiping, etc., but we can learn to turn it around. Just think too, why would we want to put others down? Why make others feel bad about themselves? Because we have to realize too, we have our own insecurities. Why would we want to heighten that for other people? Why do we want others to feel the same way we felt when people were shit talking about us and treating us badly? These are things we really have to think about, Let's all try to be the bigger person, to rise above this hate and negativity, and let's set the example for others on how to treat people with kindness and respect. It's a lot to consider, but in the meantime, I challenge you to work on being a kinder person and not let petty shit affect you. And at the same time, too, be a genuine friend who someone can go to when they feel bad about themselves. And ultimately, if you do feel like shit talking, if you have a problem with the person, go to the person and solve it face to face, Talk to them one-on-one, kindly, of course, and try to solve the issue instead of bad-mouthing them and complaining about them to someone else, because that will break their trust. I feel like in a way for this whole podcast I've been ranting, but it's true. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it in high school and college, and maybe even kids in middle school are doing this now, I guess. It's just not worth it. It is not worth it. It is just not worth wasting your time and energy on. At least these people are showing their true colors and again, letting you know, doing the filtering for you, showing you that they are not good friends and they're not worth keeping around in your life. I'm not sure what episode it was too, but I think I remember talking about realizing who is a genuine friend and who will stand by you and be by your side and, someone who you can really talk to about anything. Recognizing those people in your life, right? But then also recognizing those who kind of are distant and don't want to hear about all your issues, when you try to talk to them and you feel like won't stand by you and don't really like to spend time with you either. Those are the people who you don't want in your life, obviously, right? It sounds obvious right now, but sometimes it's hard to see that when you consider it in your own life or you are with them in the moment, you know what I mean? But in any case, I think this is a good lead into our quote of the day, which is by our OG book, The Little Book of Happiness by Allison Davies. And this is on page 67, so here we go. Straight from the book, Little Book of Happiness. So cute. The quote is, "Thoughts are powerful. They shape the present and the future. If you can think happy, you'll be happy." And again, it all comes down to you create your own happiness. You have the power to filter what affects you, what you let affect your energy, what you let affect your mental health, all of these things. And you know what? Again, if you have to cut someone out because you realize that they're not a good friend, be kind about it. Yes, don't go on and talk shit about them behind their back. This is not what I'm advocating for, but talk to them. Let them know how you're feeling. You know what I mean? This is ultimately self-care for you. Sometimes, yeah, it might be unfortunate to cut off a friend, but if that's what you have to do to remain sane and to keep your mental health intact, then ultimately in the long run, it's the best decision for you because you always should put yourself first. And again, just learn to let it go, It's hard. I realize it's hard. It really can be, but if we learn to put a positive spin on it, say, you know what, hey, I have myself a real fan club, or if one person is talking about you more than other people, I would say, that's the president of my fan club right there. That's the president of my fan club. I'm clapping. Bow down to the president of my fan club. Or I even actually saw on the Housewives too, I'm not sure which one it was, but this one woman gave an autographed headshot to the person who was talking behind her back, and she's like, here's a signature for you, because apparently, you talk so much about me that you must be my number one fan. So it's just funny. You know what I mean? It's not worth your time and energy. I promise you. Put a positive spin on it, still be kind, and I'm sure it's hard not to snap back at them, but always do your best to take the high road, to be the example, and to just learn to protect your inner peace and your energy. If we can think happy thoughts, then we can be happy. It just takes a little more work and a little more effort and some routine and getting used to learn to let it go. Learn that, you know what, if people think about me this way, if people think that this rumor is true when it's actually not, then they don't know you well enough. They don't care about learning about it from the source and learning the truth of the matter. I don't know how this catty bitch trend and gossiping all became a thing. It's been obviously a trend for a long time. Maybe it's because of the movies? I don't know, but yeah, okay, it can be trendy and popular and whatever, but like I said, it's a bad cycle. It's a damaging cycle, and I don't want this to continue. I hope this, changes, hopefully, with trying to spread kindness and peace throughout the world, and especially for young women. Like, we need to fix each other's crowns and not tear them down. Like, real queens support each other. We don't really fight with or compete with each other, you know what I mean? I hope that you were able to learn something from this episode, and maybe you can take a look, internally, and maybe you realize there are some bad habits or some negative patterns that you may have. This is not to put you down. I'm not saying you're in the wrong here. But sometimes we do need to analyze how we're behaving and treating others. I just want you to focus on growth, focus on becoming the best possible version of yourself that you can be, and always treat others with kindness, because we could sure use it. So thank you for making it all the way to the end of this episode, and thank you again for bearing with us with our 1 week break we had last week. If you do like this episode, share our podcast with your family and friends. Maybe they'll enjoy it too, who knows? And feel free to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, or you can email us anytime at skatzchats@gmail.com if you have any requests for a future episode, topic, or just want to chat. I'm always here to chat if you'd like to chat. Tell me which Real Housewives franchise you like the best. We could chat about that. All right, so stay safe, everybody. Stay kind, and we'll see you for the next episode of Skatz Chats, which will be on November 10th. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to Skatz Chats. If you'd like to request a topic of discussion, head over to our website at www.skatzchats.com. The Skatz Chats logo is designed by Nkartz, and our theme song is written and produced by Daddy Lacus.